What was just kind of your mindset going into that process? And obviously Under Armour, Adidas, a few other brands were in the mix. Like, who were you all talking to? And just kind of, let's go back to that moment back in 2013.
That was a wild summer. I mean, I was coming off first playoff appearance. Just lost to San Antonio in the second round, I think. I kind of blast on the scene. It was a 54-point game in the hyperfuses I think I had on, and some other cool moments, with them. And then going into the free agency kind of window, it was kind of all over the place. It's kind of chaotic. There was a lot of competition, I guess, on that side with the roster and who was going to get up to that next level, and kind of how they saw those decisions didn't align with where I felt I was at and confidence in myself, and so that opened the doors for the opportunity to kind of look at some other opportunities. And I think at the time we were talking obviously Nike, Under Armour, Adidas, Brand Black was in there. I went to their offices down in LA and talked to them once or twice. It all came down to one, just feeling I had so many ankle troubles at the time, and I really needed a shoe that just felt good and gave me confidence that I was gonna be able to play. The money would be great and be nice to make as much as you can and get as much equity as you can, whatever company, and go big. But if you're out there uncomfortable, putting yourself at jeopardy, what's it for? So it really, all those conversations were happening. Obviously, me and my agent were weighing that. But then I just took a room full of shoes from every company and put them on, and did the whole wear test piece. And at the time, Under Armour was just launching their spawns, and there was some new innovation coming, a clutch fit down the road, and kind of got a taste of what that was like. So it was like, this is a good starting point. I'm competitive as hell, and in a situation where you're starting, they had a solid roster at the time, but I felt like you're basically starting something from scratch and being able to take Under Armour basketball to new heights, on my back, and with the team and the resource that we had, and at the time Kevin Plank's hunger to make basketball real within Under Armour, and that was how I was feeling. I was like, it makes sense. It'd be hard to leave Nike because I was, that's who I was with forever. But my daughter Riley at the time was 2, and I was at my agent's house down in LA, and we were just kind of messing around. I had a bag full of all the shoes I was wear testing, and I was just messing around. So I said, Riley, come in here and let me put all these shoes around. So I had a Nike, Adidas, a Brand Black, a Under Armour shoe. I had them all. It was like laying in the middle of the room, and I told her, go pick your favorite and hand it to Daddy. And so little did I know her dramatic self, even at 2, she did the process of elimination. She didn't even just go for the first one. She's like, I'm gonna pick up all of them, look at them, and each one by one, she'd pick it up and she just throw it across the room. And she did the first 3, threw them across the room, and ran over and handed me a spawn. And that was pretty much the end of it right there. So pretty cool writing on the wall in terms of a sign your daughter's feeling the same way.
I never had heard that Brand Black piece before. I didn't know they were in the mix like that, so that was really interesting.
I think Jamal Crawford was the one that started rocking, right? Yeah.
He was with the Clippers at the time, and then they had a cool campaign with him, and they kind of had a lot early, and then funny enough, they were the ones that did the agreement with Big Baller Brand to design Lonzo's shoes. So they were the ones behind the scenes doing Big Baller Brand stuff, and then the LaMelo and Jello shoe as well.
I can't remember. I gotta ask JC. I can't remember what that first shoe, Brand Black. I don't know if it's Brand Black 1. I don't know what it's called. It was actually solid. Like,
it was called the Crossover.
That's what they named it. So whatever they had it before, and I was going through that process. It was a solid shoe. It had me thinking. There was a day I was probably emotional. I was like, yo, I'm going Brand Black. So it wasn't like a non-starter.
At the time, just with the Charlotte connection, there was never any like scenario around you going to Jordan Brand?
Not at the time. And that was mostly, I don't know how the Jordan Nike collaboration or lack thereof or whatever it is works, but it wasn't really a conversation at the time.
There was that big article, of course, a few years back that kind of broke down all the different ways and kind of turns that whole process went for you as well. And of course, the Nike meeting at the Oakland Marriott was like the one people always talk about. like, I know your dad has commented on it, but I never heard you comment on that directly. Like, what was going through your mind when your name got mispronounced, when, you know, the slide was not your name as well? Like, what was that just kind of feeling like?
At the time, you don't really, you have an emotional reaction to it because you're feeling good about yourself. You're like, y'all supposed to be, you know, rolling out the red carpet, you know, in this situation. If you really want me, like, this is supposed to be buttoned up, dialed in. And like you said, it's been talked about enough, but I think in the moment, you're just trying to be observant of everything, of how everybody's, you know, speaking to you, how every detail of the presentations, of the vision, how well do they know you as a person, will speak to how much time they're invested in what they're really about. And so it kind of that was one of the first meetings. It kind of set the table for the rest of the meetings. So I was like, all right, can't get any worse than that. So let's go, let's see where it goes from there. But I guess that's kind of the nature of the beast, right? Like, some of these situations, you feel like you might be on a certain pedestal for, you know, a group of people, and you're not, and it kind of shows. So thankfully, I, you know, firm believe the decision I made was the right one, and it's worked out, no matter how crazy the circumstances were.